the age of 9, I felt like God placed something inside me, and it's still inside me, and it's a spirit to fight. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you are not new, welcome back. So I made a decision to I said that I'm going to be consistent for the rest of the year. I've decided to post that I'm going to be posting one video every week. But a lot of things has been happening with me spiritually these days, and I've decided that I want to move away from the beauty content just for a little bit, just to tell you guys a little bit about me, what I've been through, some of my struggles and stuff like that. And then after all of that is said and done, that I'm gonna be diving right back into beauty content. I'm also gonna be talking to you guys about business, since I've just started my business, and my experiences and a few other things, you know, that I'm gonna let you guys get a chance to know me more, because I'm usually private and I'm usually I just don't really like to talk about my life sometimes, but you guys are lucky. And some of the stories that I'm going to be sharing here are stories that was never told, that no one knows about, and things that I have not shared. So I've posted a few videos back on my YouTube channel a few weeks ago. You can go ahead and check them out just to catch up with some of what I'm going to be saying. I'm going to also be putting all of those videos in a playlist so that it will be easier for you guys to find and just learn a bit about me, and to know that a lot of us are just walking around and people may think that our lives are perfect and we don't have struggles and we've never been through anything. But I've been through a lot of things, you know, a lot, and I know there's a lot of other people out there who have been through a lot of things. But I always say to myself that I've been through so much, and I think my struggles have made me stronger. And I think everything that I've been through have curved me and into becoming someone who is very motivating, very encouraging, and it's very strong. And there's something that I always say to myself, and believe me, I think this is true. After all the things that I've gone through, I don't think that there's anything else that I can go through that I would never be able to withstand, because I've been through it. I've been through the worst. I've been to the bottom of the pit, you know. And I said it in one of my previous videos that I am a product of God's grace and mercy. Because if it wasn't for Him, everything that I've gone through, I wouldn't be here today. You wouldn't know me. But because He stood by me and He never gave up on me when everybody else gave up on me, He never did. And so I've always thought about writing a book about my life and everything that I've been through, but I always said that nobody knows me. You know, who is going to read my book? Who cares about me and what I've been through? And other people are going through their own struggles. So I decided I want to use this platform to just speak a little bit about, just for you guys to get to, I just want to let it out. I just want to speak about some of the things that I've been through, some of the struggles, because each time when I remind myself about it, it reminds me of my strength. It reminds me of strong I am, you know, and it also allows me to get closer to God, because it shows me that if it wasn't for God, then I wouldn't be where I am today. So yeah, that was a little, you know, introduction. So just stick around. I'm gonna get right into the video. So before you guys move any further, please, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You can always leave your comments in the comment section, you know, like the video, interact with me. You know, I'll see all the comments. I read a lot, and I'll read all your comments. I'll respond to them. You know, tell me about your story, what you've been through. If you ever felt afraid of telling your story, speaking about your life and some of the things that you've been through. You know, you can also share the videos with your friends and families, right? So when I was 9 years old, right, something happened that changed my family life. I was gonna say forever, but we're still, it's not, the word is not forever. But since then, it changes my family's life, right? When I was 9 years old, my father got into an altercation with someone. That was a long time ago, and very long time ago. And my father got into an altercation with someone, and it ended up the result was not good. It ended up to be fatal, and so he acted in self-defense, and things escalated and happened, right? And my father ended up doing time for what had happened. Right, I was very young, but I remember this so vividly and so clearly, and it's something that sticks with me ever since. It's about how many years that would be now. Let me see. 3, yeah, 6. That's about 29. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyways, when I was 9 years old, right? That happened. I remember me and my mother and my 3 brothers at the time. I had a baby brother at the time and my 2 other brothers. I remember we were home one night, and I remember we saw a lot of people, a lot of guys coming to the house, because we didn't know what happened, until after. We didn't know what happened. But I was very young, and I remember so vividly and so clearly about what happened, and how I know I actually felt like God placed something inside of me that night to fight for my family at the age of 9 years old. And I remember they came and they wanted to hurt us. They came with stones and sticks and so many kinds of different kind of weapons, and they wanted to hurt us. And I was just standing at the doorway with one of my youngest brother, and I begged for our lives. Like I was young and I was not exposed to anything. I was 9 years old, and I remember I begged that night so much for our lives. I remember so clear. I don't even know if my mother remember, because it was a long time ago, and she was more focused on what had happened. And I remember that night when they came to hurt us, and I begged and I begged and I said, no, please don't hurt us, please don't hurt us. We haven't done anything wrong. And I was just begging at the age of 9 years old to be alive, to live, to for them not to kill us, and to hurt our family. And it was very traumatizing at the age of 9. After that time, I never even, and I always remember, and ever since that day, so many things happened. So that night, right, my mother made a decision that, what, we're not gonna stay home that night, because we just felt like something was going to happen. My mother, we left that night, after I begged, and they said, okay, we're not going to hurt you. The man literally said, I remember they literally said that we're not going to hurt you. I remember we left that night, me, my two brothers, and my mother, and we had a baby brother at that time, right? I'm going to tell you a story about him. He passes away, but I remember that night when my mother said, you know what, let's go. We can't stay here tonight, because I know things that may get worse, and they may still want to hurt us, even though they said they're not going to hurt us. So we left, and when we left, we went to one of our other family members' house that night, and then we got a call that they had burnt down our house flat to the ground, that our house was burnt down, and that everything was lost. We lost everything. My mother, all her furniture and everything that she had worked so hard for. Me and my brothers, we were saving money at that time, and everything was gone, But let me tell you something. We lost everything that night, and we became homeless. We became homeless for a very long time. But there was something that night that I remember so clearly, was that we lost our house. When we got the call that they burned down the house flat to the ground, it didn't hurt much at that time, because we were more focused on the fact that our lives were spared, and they didn't hurt us. We weren't able to think about the long-term effect of us not having anywhere to live. I remember we were running up and down that night trying to find somewhere to rest our head that night, and it was very traumatizing. And then after that, we were homeless for a very long time. We didn't have anywhere to live. We had to stay with family members. And we were walking up and down in the wee hours of the morning. My baby brother was 9 months old at the time. And we were walking up and down trying to find somewhere to lay our head that night. You know, we've lost everything. And I remember my mother had to start all over. And it took her so many years. It took her so long to even buy a fridge or a chest of drawer. It took her so long because she had to take care of us. And it was very hard. And you know, my baby brother, I'm going to tell you the story about my baby brother, right? So just to cut long story short, because so many things happened after that. But my baby brother passes away. And my baby brother died due to witchcraft. Yes, he was 9 months old. I remember my grandmother got a dream about him. I'm going to tell you the dream. I'm going to say my grandmother got this dream about, and we knew then, we were very young. I was very young, but I understand things. So I used to just soak up things so much when I was younger. Even now, I soak up a lot of things. You know, and that is why I'm able to come here and recall everything that stood out so vividly in my mind. I remember my grandmother got the dream about my baby brother, that he was sick, that my grandmother got the dream. I remember it so clearly, that she got a dream that a chicken was picking the toe of my baby brother, and that he starts to swell, but he started to swell from his stool, like he started to get swelling. And then my mother, in the morning when we wake up, he was not feeling well, he was sick. And my mother take him to the hospital. I remember my baby brother so much, he was so cute. And my mother take him to the hospital, right? And I remember my mother came home, my mother and my older brother at the time. I remember they left him. My baby brother was admitted, and they left him at the hospital, and they came home, and my mother was saying that in all her life, you know, when she went there at the hospital with him, they gave my baby brother so many injections. She said she had never seen anything like that. And they didn't know what was wrong with him, but they keep giving him injection for what? Nobody understands it. Nobody didn't understand why they were doing that to him. You know, and they keep injecting him. My mother came home and said it was so painful. But let me tell you something. We were going through so much at the time. We were homeless. We didn't have anywhere to live. We were staying with family members. My father was battling court cases and going through a lot of things. You know, and obviously my father couldn't work. It was just my mother, and we were just getting things from anybody, anywhere at the time. And let me tell you, man, we're going through so much things that we became so numb. That we were so numb. But I soak up everything, and I remember everything. We were so numb. My mother, I could see the numbness in her, because she was just fighting to stay alive, fighting to stay strong for us. I remember my mother came home, and they said that, you know, one day they got a call to come to the hospital. And when they went to the hospital, the nurse was like, you know, walking, like, they knew that my baby brother died, but they didn't know how to tell her. And then my mother said, she just saw the expression on the nurse's face, and she knew that he had died. You know, no one didn't know what happened. No one couldn't tell. They said that because he was teething, he swallowed the water and he died. But it wasn't that. It was witchcraft. It was witchcraft and everything. Since that day we battled. We were from a battled witchcraft. You know, so many things. It's just a lot. But I'm going to try to share as much as I can in the shortest possible time here. So you guys can know, you know, and how if it wasn't for prayer and fasting and me deciding that getting close to God is what I needed to do, you know, for me to at least get one step closer to being who I really intended, who God really intended for me to become. And, you know, and then he passes away. But we weren't able to have a funeral. We didn't have any money. We didn't have anything. Your family was suffering and going through so much. And then he died, and they end up burnt his body at the hospital. We didn't get to see him or anything. They just, you know, and it was just one of those situations that just passes away, and we find closure immediately because we were so numb, and we didn't have time to mourn. You know, we didn't have time to think about what we were going, because so many things was happening and we're battling so much. And that was in the year of 1996, and it's so significant. Oh my God, this is so significant that incident, today is what day? I don't know the exact day it happened, but that incident happened in the month of April. And can you believe how significant that is now that I'm telling this story in April? This didn't plan, let me tell you. it didn't plan, and it happened in the month of April. And you see, after that, every month of April moving forward for the next how many years, every time it comes to the month of April, so many things happen to us, so many bad things, so many things. And I, you know, as I grow older, you know, it doesn't anymore, because we prayed a lot, and we overcome a lot of those challenges. But back then, every April we had to fight so many things, so many bad things happen. But and to never give up and to continue fighting. People always say to me that you are a fighter, because I am no, when fighting is the only thing that you have left to do, when fighting is the only thing that you can do, what are you gonna do? Aren't you gonna fight? And that's me. But I know this video may be going too long, so I'm gonna cut this video and I'm going to go right into another video about me, you know, some of the things that I've been through over the years, and just a few of my experiences that I've been through. And when I got baptized at the age of 13 years old, I'm gonna dive right into that story. So thank you guys so much for watching my video. I do appreciate you watching. Please share the video, comment, interact with me, like the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video.